listening to The Goods on the Chronicles, Fables, and Yarns Network. I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Tracy.
So today we're continuing our holiday movie series where we each picked 4 movies that we really like during the holiday season that we really enjoy. Today we're going to be talking about the movie Elf. Elf is directed by Jon Favreau, written by David Brenenbaum. That's a tongue twister, can't say that 5 times fast. Anyway, this was very quickly a holiday classic amongst people, at least my age. But Tracy, I believe you picked this movie, so why'd you pick this? Why'd you like Elf in particular?
I did pick this movie. I think honestly that it has all the components of a Christmas movie. It's you've got Buddy who's an innocent, and which is just a really nice characteristic in a movie. He goes to New York City. He gets to see everything for the first time because he spent his whole life living in the North Pole with the elves. I guess I should say that Buddy's a human that has grown up with elves, so he kind of discovers as an adult that he's not an elf, even though he's like 2 to 3 times bigger than all the elves that are around him. And so he goes to New York City to find his father because his father's on the naughty list. So you have someone who's in need of redemption. Mm-hmm. And when Buddy's there, he meets Jovi and falls in love. And so they spend part of the movie going around New York, experiencing all sorts of things for the first time, which is also quite wonderful. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of the movie, they save Christmas. What more do you need?
Well, I mean, I agree with you for the most part. It's very much a Christmas movie. Like, Buddy is literally Christmas incarnate, right?
Yeah.
Like when it really comes down to it. And one of those things where it's not even just his father who needs redemption, right? Like Walter's on the naughty list, but the entirety of New York City, Santa crash lands in Central Park, and Christmas cheer is so low, it's that trope. Christmas cheer is so low, the sleigh can't fly, dude. And so really, it's kind of like how do I refer to it? We talked about it previously. I think I called it like a Miracle on 34th Street on crack cocaine or something like that. It's not that far off. But I enjoy this movie as well. Some parts of Will Ferrell movies make me kind of go, I don't want to see this, because it's just very awkward, and I feel awkward, and then we're just a bunch of awkward people.
He was very awkward, but he was so innocent that he was completely unaware of his awkwardness.
Exactly.
And it was okay.
Exactly. I should note one of my favorite things about this movie in terms of trivia is that all those scenes in New York City where he's in the tunnel and walking up to people, those are all completely guerrilla cinematography. That was actually Will Ferrell filming with people who are not extras downtown New York. That's crazy. So that dude with the red jumpsuit was literally just a dude with a red jumpsuit. He was just on the streets with genuine reaction. Pretty crazy.
I saw something where he caused accidents too, walking around in his green elf suit.
Yep. Will Ferrell was in his green elf suit in the middle of New York City. True story.
Yep.
And you touched on a lot of the story, where he's a human who I believe he was going to be orphaned, right?
Yep. Yeah, he was an orphan.
And he kind of fell into Santa's sack and was taken to the North Pole and raised by elves. And his dad's on the naughty list, and the end of the movie really kind of brings things back around, I think, and really has that redemption arc to it, for his dad, where they make the Christmas book that's written by a mysterious person. So I think it was really pretty cool. But it has a lot of the same tropes, but it does them really differently. That whole thing of obviously Miracle on 34th Street. I'm gonna keep referring to it because I was it feels like the base of the movie, right? Without Miracle on 34th Street, this movie probably doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. But that whole shtick where Santa's on trial. I just think it's a really great movie. It has a lot of tropes, but it's very, very on point, very on par. Mm-hmm. Very similar to I feel like Christmas Chronicles got a lot from this movie as well. with like the rocket sleigh and stuff like that.
Yep. Yeah, that's the one with Kurt Russell, right?
That's the one with Kurt Russell where he does the Elvis routine in jail. But yeah, basically drags the entirety of New York City into having, you know, Christmas spirit with the sing along of the song, and you know, it has a lot of positive points to it. What do you think is your favorite part of the movie, though? Like, what's the scene that you want to rewind and rewatch?
I'm not sure about rewinding and rewatching, but there's a few scenes that I like. I really like the duet between Jovi and Buddy when she's in the shower, because it's silly but it's sweet at the same time. And I really love watching Buddy go through New York. So do all the silly things, like he's never seen a rotating door.
Yeah, the revolving door.
Revolving, that's it.
Yeah.
He's never seen a revolving door. He's just running through it like a crazy person. So I've always been kind of taken by that sort of innocence. People doing things because it moves them, and him not knowing any better. And he, you know, basically he's completely weird, but he has no sense of that being wrong or weird or unacceptable in any way. So just that sort of joy at discovering new things, it's probably one of my favorite things in the movie, is watching that.
That's actually a really good take on the movie itself, where, you know, you're right, like Will Ferrell's character Buddy is basically completely innocent. I think that's a great take. I have an extra piece of trivia on this one.
Yeah?
They used forced perspective a lot for the elves, like as much as possible. They tried to use practical effects. So that scene where Buddy's driving around and he has Bob Newhart, right? Bob Newhart plays his adopted dad, yeah. And Bob Newhart's on the back. That's all forced perspective.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there's a dude who's like right next to him with his hands on his shoulders, just hiding behind him. And then there's actually a gap between Buddy and Bob Newhart. So it makes Bob look smaller than Buddy is.
Cool.
When he's driving around the tricycle. Yeah, it was pretty cool. So, like, doing the research on this film, there's a lot more to it than maybe I initially thought there was. You know, I think Favreau's a great director. I think he's great when he's given this kind of leeway to work with something. He needs to stop doing Disney remakes, though. Stop that shit. Nobody needs to see a remake of Aladdin or Lion King or
God, no.
or what's the one that they're doing? Little Mermaid. Those were done perfectly well. Leave them alone, please, for the love of God.
I agree. I also think it's a great cast. I think it's you know, Bob Newhart as Papa Elf is just fantastic. James Caan as Walter.
James Caan as Walter. Yep.
Yeah, Mary Steenburgen as Emily. You know, it's Walter's wife.
Yep.
I just, it's in Zooey Deschanel as Jovi. I just think it's a great cast, and they all fit together nicely, and it's fun.
I agree. I think the casting is actually one of the underrated points of the movie. I think it has a lot of really great actors and actresses in it. Good call. Absolutely.
Ed Asner as Santa.
Yeah, Ed Asner as Santa. That was great. Yep. I forgot that too. I was like, oh, that's right. That's incredible. The movie itself, like overall, like I think it was pretty much destined for success with the idea and the cast and the directing. I think it was like all very well picked. Great movie. I give it 2 thumbs up.
Same.
Fantastic. Do you have anything else you'd like to say about the movie?
No.
All right.
Just go watch it.
I agree. Go watch it. Great holiday movie. Sit down, watch with your kids, or your family, or whoever.
By yourself.
Your friends. By yourself. Big mug of hot cocoa. Anyway, go watch it. This has been The Goods on the Chronicles, Fables, and Yarns Network. Again, I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Tracy. Thanks for listening.